Hi guys, this is Crossy of Eclipse Gaming TV and welcome to part 26 of my Boyhood Dream series with Gillingham FC on FM 2015. And yeah, if you watched the last part, you will know that I've managed to get my Boyhood club that I've supported for 20 years at least. Yeah, I've managed to get them relegated back down to League 2, so it's not gone particularly well. All hell has broken loose. Out of most of the players we've got, I wasn't that fussed about keeping too many of them, but the one I was keen on was Rob Earnshaw after his phenomenal scoring record for us. But it turns out that in my attempts to try and keep him, didn't go particularly well, and he's properly thrown his toys out the pram. Ended up dragging some of the other players in the team into that as well, who are also a little bit unsure about sticking around and seeing if we can bounce straight back up. Most of those players, to be fair, I wasn't that sad about losing, apart from one or two, but it looks like they will all be on their way. Yeah, and it's all got a little bit spicy on that front. Not the end of the world, because I'm quite keen on rebuilding the squad anyway and bringing in my own faces. So I'm actually really excited to get into pre-season and start building for next year, to be honest. There's one problem, as I've mentioned a few times in this series, that's not something that Football Manager lets you do. You inherit the playing squad for the year coming, not for what was left at the end of year just gone. For the same reason it would have been cool to take over Blackpool when they only had 8 players in the whole playing squad and completely rebuild from fresh, but again, game doesn't let you do that, so yeah, no such luck. I guess you could work it through in the database if you wanted, but I wasn't going to be that that anal about it. But the end of the season hasn't quite worked as well as I would have liked. I'm not going to do like an end of season wrap up and talk about the players and the heroes of the year, because a lot of them have just gone and said, "Nah, screw you guys, I'm off. Now we got relegated. See ya." Which is kind of part of the problem, really, as I'll talk about it once the game actually gets started. But this is the team that we are running with. So I've got Shane Ramsey, the 16-year-old he is. Got 5-star potential, though, you can see. Jake Lampard, again, 5-star potential. The 15-year-old right winger, just throwing them in there to get a little bit of first team experience for the last 3 or 4 games. Link Norris, who is probably going to be earning a spot up front next season. After having a chat with him, he's decided he wants to stick around. Already a good League 2 player, potential to be a good Championship striker. We're going to be keeping him up top. Rob Earnshaw's been dropped into the reserves for the final 2-3 games of the season, just to add insult to injury. But we're going to get into this game against Scunthorpe and see how we get on. And I think the kind of outcry from the players, most of them have been at the club for quite a long time, to be honest, a fair few seasons. Stuart Nelson, the goalkeeper, being one of them. But I think what tends to happen as far as football goes down in the lower echelons of the professional leagues is that players just end up going through, well, trying to think of the best word, a revolving door, really, and they're just playing for where their next contract's going to be. They end up on short-term deals. Well, I'm thinking back to the days when Gillingham were in the Championship. We could tie people up to 3-4 year contracts. They'd stick around, they'd become part of the team and the identity. They would actually care about pulling on a Gillingham shirt, even if they're not a supporter like I was. And I just get the feeling that that doesn't really happen anymore. Everyone's on short-term deals. They're playing for a deal somewhere else that's going to get them a little bit more money, maybe escalate them up to a higher level, something like that. And there just isn't any loyalty anymore. It's like, I'm not playing for the club and for the badge, I'm playing for a contract, wherever that happens to be, which is, yeah, kind of a little bit disappointing. Rafael Calvert with a trip in the penalty area. Nelson has saved a few of these over the course of the season. Doesn't save that one, though. Dies as the ball's blasted straight at the middle, and that leaves us 1-0 down. Oh dear. But yeah, as I've said right in my very first video, yes, I want Gillingham to do well, and I'm going to try and push on that regard. This season so far has been absolutely shocking. It's been enjoyable in a strange kind of way, but I have to admit, with my recording schedule, sometimes I'll have a day off and I'll just record probably about 2-3 hours worth of videos just to try and keep a steady stream going and sort of filter in throughout the week. And in doing that, when you're losing every single week for a club you supported for 20 years, even if it is on a game, I think it probably came across in my voice. I was getting a bit fed up with the whole thing at times, which has happened. So I'd like to try and turn it around as Luke Norris brings us even. Good work from Pritchard. Good link up from the two Liverpool players. I'll be trying to keep a few of them around going into next year if I can. But yeah, of course we are going to be pushing for success and pushing for promotion, but I'm going to try and build a team with my kind of identity and put my own stamp on it, which means getting the right sort of players to work the system that I would like to use, which is this 4-2-4 that we're working at the moment with two wide players, but I want a solid defensive unit at the back to be able to cope with that. As Norris clean through, the goalie slides in and wins the ball, and I managed to get away with it. Good bit of last-ditch defending. Let's G the players on a bit more. Still rocking the attacking formation, which is what I'd like to do. Play good, attractive attacking football, but have a back four that's a good, solid unit. Main priority for the fullbacks is that they can defend first, and if they are able to contribute a bit in the attacking side, then fair enough. But I've got two attacking wide men that are doing, or should be doing, the brunt of that for me. Brian Lampard trying to get his first goal. Had a couple of decent opportunities in the, I think this is his third game. Good save from Nelson. Of course, I'm not expecting wonders from my two 15, 16-year-olds that have got silver stars or one gold star and their current ability. But going forward, you would hope that we might be able to create a few. Build from the U system, if you like. That's Norris. Scuffs it. Chance for Norris to run through, and he does. Second of the game. Oh, offside. Bit unfortunate, but I think I might have missed a trick by not playing Norris quite as much as I have done. Oh, wow. Okay, come on, guys. Fess up. Who didn't mark him that time? Bet it was Calvert after giving away that penalty. See, so, yeah, two players. Who have we got? So Lussey lost his man. Okay, he's not centre-back. And then it was pretty much a free header, actually, because we had a guy on the post. What was he going to do? Leave the post and drift out and pick up the player? Well, maybe that would have been the better move, but never mind. Guess you can't cover everywhere. You need someone to pick up the slack. 10 minutes left to go, then let's throw everyone forward. See if we can get a point out of this. Ooh, could be 3-1. Oh, just managed to get it out somehow. Shane Ramsey at the back, clearing off the line. Lampard through to Norris, offside again. Oh, good little move. But always a little bit worrying when you've got a striker that just can't look down the line. Constantly get themselves offside. Now, we're 10 seconds left to play. Unless we go route one with this, we can pretty much say that's game over. Norris room to run. Pritchard comes onto it. Dak to Lampard. Chance for his first goal for the club, and he's done it. Nice. Last ditch equaliser, and we're taking a point out of this away from home. Getting to the irons. Nice composed touch. Solid finish. Could we see a star in the making here? That's quite interesting how well that's gone. Well done, boys. You managed to avoid defeat. Good job. Well done. And they all seem to take that quite well. I think that's a bit of a sign of how our season's gone. So obviously Crawley are coming down with us. I think we managed to get a win and a loss out of Crawley so far. In fact, that was not one of the games where we absolutely spanked them to begin with. Okay, so we've got 3 players. That we're going to ask to get on the phone and try and engineer a move away, but I don't know how well that's going to work out. It'd be nice if we can try and get some transfer money out of Egan and Pritchard for a start, because they're both players that are worth a little bit, still quite young. So I'm kind of gutted I couldn't keep hold of them for the promotion battle. I think by the same token, I'm quite disappointed they have reacted that way. So every time we come up and get a training report, Raphael Calvert seems to be developing well. Very good mental stats, as we've already looked at, and decent physicals as well. Development. Yeah, so he's pretty much on the rise in quite a few areas, especially in those mental areas, which are surprisingly useful, actually. Positioning and concentration. I think in the Dover series, actually, in FM14, can't think who it was offhand now. Teddy Ngoy. Yeah, Teddy Ngoy. Very good stats and was pretty much playing below his level for us down in the non-leagues. Could have probably held his own at League 2 level as far as his ability, but his concentration was pretty much horrific from what I remember, and there were quite a few issues with that. So yeah, I think that's quite important. Okay, Brendan Rodgers happy with the number of games I've given Jordan Lussey this time. Okay, so... Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Right, so let's see. So, final game. There's not that many players I'd particularly want to give a big swan song to that are going to be on their way out. Half tempted to give Emile Heskey an appearance, but yeah, not too sure about that. let's put him on the bench. Let's give him at least half a chance of getting one last run out for the team. Right, so a few changes then. So Martin and Fish are both going to be sticking with us. So I will give last run outs to Šimek at right back and to Marcos Painter, the Irishman, at left back, neither of whom are going to be sticking with us next season, I don't feel. So that's that. Calvert and Ramsey. Pritchard in the hole. I would play Jake Hessenthaler, but he's going to be sticking with us next year anyway, so that's fine. Doug Loft, what's the story with him? Loft, he's on the way out. Yeah, fine. And fitness-wise, everyone's doing good. Yeah, Bradley Dack's staying with us next year. Cool. So let's get to it then. Very glad to see Luke Norris getting himself on the score sheet a few times with his little run in the side. Good signs for next season. Fairly happy with my fullback options with Fish and with Martin, but as we're trying to build a team that's got sort of my stamp on it, I would actually prefer some more defensively minded fullbacks. So, especially as I'm losing the cover in both positions. So that's something I'm going to have to bear in mind. Going to need to replace the goalkeeper because Nelson wants out. But I think I do have a half decent idea about what I can do there at least. Also, we'll be cheating a little bit, but I'll need to try and pillage the Liverpool youth system a little bit. We'll try and keep at least one of the two central midfielders. Ryan Kent, I would like to keep with us for another season. Rafael Calvert, could I keep him for one more year on loan? That would be a tempting prospect at centre-back. He's been one of our best centre-backs going forward as Kent slots one in. Great ball from Šimek. I think Calvert's probably been our choice centre-back. Not saying a lot, but with the drop down to League 2, plus he seems to be improving all the time. Might well be a good move going forward. I'll have to see who I've got available because we're going to have very little transfer budget, so it's all got to be free transfers as Norris is through. Couldn't quite get it under his spell though, unfortunately. Out for a corner, around about the half an hour mark. Calvert hoof and clear. Shane Ramsey, the 16-year-old, with a bold sliding challenge, leaving the ground in his own penalty area. Comes away with the ball though. Glad to see he's willing to do that. Norris feeds, Lampard goes for the shot. Just inside the box, only finds defender though. Lussie tries to spread it. Tries to channel Stevie G, doesn't manage to get away with it though. Oh wow! Stuart Nelson own goal again. That's be about the third goalkeeping calamity within the space of the last 5 parts. It's crazy. I mean, really? There are so many things he could have done with that. He could have just kept on his feet and walked out and grabbed the thing. I'd have walked out and grabbed the thing. In fact, knowing me, I'm not great for picking it up when I'm playing goal at 5-a-side. I probably would have chested that down and tried to dribble it out or something, or ping a pass halfway out the field from that position. I definitely wouldn't have taken a dive at it, but Bradley Dax managed to bring us even. With more bounce than Tigger, he gets on the end of that header and puts it in the back. Okay. So what I am going to do is leave one last swan song for a certain Mr. Emile Heskey. He has been the face of our video thumbnails for this series, which I'm going to have to change up actually. I've real issues finding a Gillingham one. I'm going to have to... I don't even know. I'm going to have to think of something else. I'm going to have to make some other superstar signing that will maybe actually be a superstar for us, not an expensive mistake as Heskey. What power there was in that shot, but nothing quite comes of it. Already in there making a nuisance of himself. I was recording a part last night and had a little conversation with my dad about, because he's a Gillingham fan and pretty much, took me to games from the age of about 6 or 7, which started this whole thing, so I've got him to blame for it. And he said, have you got Gillingham relegated? I'm like, yeah, I have. And I had Emile Heskey, Rob Earnshaw, Jonathan Woodgate, and we still ended up rooted to the bottom by about 15 points. Yeah, I think as fun as it was and as excited as I was to get Heskey, I think it's kind of proven that wasn't the best move. Especially since this player, when he was in his prime playing for England and Liverpool, I would pretty much just poke fun at him for falling over whenever he got the ball at his feet. Yeah, I maybe shouldn't have gone for him as such. Maybe that money could have been better spent on improving the general quality of the squad, as Heskey pokes one just wide. The nice 6.4 rating, continuing on with the form that we've been known to see from him in this season, and that rating is just falling. The target man that does not get on the end of anything. The target man that does not hold up the ball, he just falls over. Okay, well, that is the end of that. The final game of the season, and pretty much the end of this part and this season. So I just want to say thank you very much for your support throughout this. We will not be messing around. In fact, if you're watching this live as the videos come through, you will be seeing the next part coming up tomorrow. Gonna try and keep it flowing nicely and up and running. Not quite sure how I'm going to do it as far as pre-season goes. My first thought, as it always seems to fly by and a lot of rebuilding needs to happen, is I'll probably do all of the pre-season bit off camera and then just drop you in once we start hitting pre-season and friendlies, and I'm kind of happy with where we're at. Maybe just before the first league game of the season, we shall see. But that's probably going to be the plan going forward. Not too many players that I really want to highlight for their phenomenal performances for the club. I guess the only player I would like to highlight, he has been the face of this series, the almighty 37-year-old Emile Heskey. 62 appearances for England, 7 goals, and an almighty 7 goals this season. for the Gills after 30 odd appearances. So he's going to be moving on to pastures new, as will our sort of journeyman players, Jonathan Woodgate and Rob Earnshaw, amongst a few others that just weren't up for the fight of trying to win promotion back to League One. So pretty much a fresh crop of players going to be coming in next season, which is what I wanted to do right at the start. So I'm really excited for that and looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are as well, and you will start to really get into it for the second season, and maybe we'll see slightly better results than we've seen this year. Any feedback that you got for me, things that you'd like me to do better, differently into the next season, then please let me know in the comments section. Give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel because there's lots of good stuff still to come. Thank you very much.